Harry and Meghan have come under fire for posing alongside the royal-hating Jamaican Prime Minister Andrew Holness at the glitzy premiere of a new Bob Marley film in Kingston last night. Mr Holness has spearheaded plans for Jamaica to become a republic, with a referendum set to be held later this year. And he hit the headlines back in 2022 during the Prince and Princess of Wales' state visit with this memorable speech.
Is, as you would see, a country that is very proud of our history, very proud of what we have achieved, and we're moving on.
Well, questions have also been raised about the timing of the Sussex's surprise appearance at the premiere, given that the royal family are battling an unprecedented health crisis. The King is preparing for a prostate procedure, Kate Middleton is still recovering in hospital after abdominal surgery, and Fergie announces that she has skin cancer. That's her second bout of cancer in recent times. So Harry is cozying up to people who want to destroy the monarchy, whilst his family are lying in hospital beds. I'm joined now by my royal masterminds, Lady Colin Campbell and Phil Dampier. Phil, this was a point that you made in Mail Online today, isn't it, really? How on earth can Harry do this whilst his family are gravely unwell?
Yeah, good evening, Patrick. I mean, I think this pair would turn up now to the opening of an envelope, wouldn't they, if the money was right? I'm not sure if they got paid for this job or not. But as you say, timing just couldn't be worse. But the King about to undergo prostate surgery, Kate's still in hospital, and as you say, coating up the politicians who want to get rid of the monarchy. You couldn't make it real. I mean, it's wrong. Jamaicans wanting to go their own way. They are at least going to have a referendum, unlike Barbados, who I thought very sadly without a referendum. But the timing of this just couldn't be worse.
Colin Campbell, what do you think of the idea that they've got time to be on red carpets at a Bob Marley event with a bloke who wants to remove the monarchy? Meanwhile, we've got potentially King Charles about to lie in a hospital bed. We hope Catherine's all right, but we know that she isn't. I mean, this is ridiculous, isn't it?
Well, I think their timing is very insensitive. But, as a Jamaican, I have to take issue with you. Andrew Holness, who I helped to get elected, by the way, is not a monarchy hater. He's somebody who simply feels that it is a good thing to give the people of Jamaica the choice whether they want to be a republic or a monarchy, but that Jamaica will still remain within the Commonwealth. There is a great deal of affection for the monarchy in Jamaica. And may I also point out that actually there's a great deal of personal affection for Harry, because Harry had a visit in Jamaica in, I think, 2012, and he was extremely popular. He was the absolute opposite of what he is now, because, he was very outgoing and very cheerful, and he ran that race with Usain Bolt where he cheated, and then he did the Bolt thing, and the Jamaicans loved him. And ironically enough, in Jamaica, this is not being viewed as an anti-monarchy visit by Harry and Meghan. Nobody cares about Meghan. As far as they're concerned, Harry is a British prince who's coming to Jamaica. So if anything, it's actually, ironically enough, not going to impact adversely upon the monarchy in Jamaica.
That's fine, but Phil, I look at this and I think the optics for Harry and Meghan, OK? So, the timing of the release of the book Spare. We've also got that Harry couldn't seemingly make it onto the plane to be with the Queen in her dying moments because of some kind of issue with Meghan. We've had all of this stuff going on. And now, they've got the time at this particular juncture, right, whilst Kate is ill, the King is ill, we've got Fergie as well suffering with illness. And instead of, coming home and seeing the family or being a part of that, they're just, at some kind of Bob Marley premiere. Who's advising them for this stuff, Who's advising them this is a good look?
I think the problem is they haven't made any public declaration of support for the King or for the Princess of Wales. I think if they'd done that, there'd be a certain sympathy for them. But, they might have been in contact with them privately. I'm sure they're worried about them. But, they haven't made anything public. And I think that's what's sort of the contrast there between them not doing that and yet enjoying themselves at the premiere. I don't know whether they went there by private plane, but yet again, I expect they probably did. And it does look like they're sort of, swamming about and enjoying themselves at a time when there is real concern, as you say, for many members of the royal family.
Yeah, Lady C, it's about what kind of advice they're getting as well. Just days after Harry was slammed by German royalty for taking a selfie with a phony Z-list German prince, the so-called Prince Mario Max Schaumburg-Lippe. What do you make of that?
Well, actually, Patrick, it's Schaumburg-Lippe. Sorry.
I apologise. I hadn't bothered to learn the pronunciation of the fake prince's name, Lady C. I'm sorry.
I knew his adoptive mother. Oh, and she was a bit of a nightmare, it's got to be said. I mean, Harry has appalling judgment. There are no two ways about it. And Meghan has no judgment at all. You know, this whole thing reeks of insensitivity, and Phil is absolutely right. All they needed to do was make some public declaration, but they're not going to make it because they can exploit every situation as long as they don't make a public declaration. It's the whole thing stinks to high heaven, really.
And you know a little bit about the Schaumburg-Lippe then, Lady C, from what you were saying. Go on.
Yes, well, Helga, he was adopted by. She herself was not actually, I have to tell you, completely 100%, because Helga Lee used to say that she was American. She wasn't. Her mother was American. Her father was German. He was a Rodeberg, and he was one of the partners in Varta, the battery company, which is very famous. And in fact, his senior partner was Gunter Quandt, who was with BMW and whose second wife then married Joseph Goebbels. So, I mean, and Helga Lee was absolutely, she was a nightmare, and the Schaumburg-Lippe family really didn't like her. And she adopted Mario, really, to spite them, so that she'd have this phony floating around as a sort of, two fingers to them.
OK, good. Finished. Thank you very much, both of you. Thank you very much. Lady C and Phil Dunphy.